My name is TOMsavage, welcome back to my channel, thanks for coming back. Today I'm not even going to waste any time, I'm going to get straight into it. I want to talk a little bit about Gaff playing cards. What they are, what I think about them, what my opinion is, just a little something to spark a bit of conversation. So without further ado, I am TOMsavage, let's talk about Gaff playing cards. So the first question is, what the hell is a Gaff playing card? For those that don't know, maybe those that are new into Magic and Deception, a Gaff playing card is a playing card or a deck of playing cards that are printed slightly different to a normal playing card to help achieve a trick. So for example, you might get a 10 of spades and all of the spades are down in one corner, and then for a trick you would present a normal 10, swap it out for the gaff without anyone knowing, give the card a shake, all the spades fall into the corner. So they are just cards that are printed slightly different to help achieve tricks and effects. So some people say if you're using a gaff playing card or a gaff deck, you are cheating essentially. Is it cheating to use gaffed playing cards? Personally, in my opinion, I don't believe it is. 9 times out of 10, when you're using a gaff deck or a gaff playing card, there is still some level of sleight of hand required. Most of the time, you're going to have to get out a standard playing card and bring in a gaff without anybody knowing. So you still need to know and be able to perform sleight of hand to use gaff playing cards. So personally, I don't think it's cheating. When it comes down to the performance of Magic and presenting deception and trickery, as Daniel Madison would say, it is by any means necessary. So if you need to use a gaff to make a trick better, I definitely think it's worth doing. One good point about gaff playing cards: if you're not completely confident with your ability in sleight of hand, and there is a gaff playing card that can allow you to do the same trick without the sleight, they can be useful. Is that me saying you should not bother learning the sleight of hand and do it always with the gaff? No. I think you should always learn the sleight first and then the gaff after, but the gaff can be useful. A personal experience of mine, I had someone come up to me. I was in a bar one time, and a youngish lad come up to me and asked to perform some magic. I didn't tell him that I was involved. I am just as much a normal person as a magician. I appreciate magic I like to watch and not be tarnished with that thing of, oh, he's a magician, he's going to be burning my hands and he's going to tell everybody how the trick is done afterwards. I like to sit and actually see a trick. So I didn't say anything, and he come and he performed a few tricks for me, but you could tell that his own ability and trust in his sleight of hand wasn't 100%, and his performance suffered because of that. So you could almost see him inside thinking, okay, in a minute I've got to do this move and I'm not completely confident in it and I'm nervous, and it's a big thing, and if he sees it, the whole trick's going to be messed up. And he did the trick, he carried on doing the trick, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't clean, where he was thinking so much about how to do this move, and his performance suffered because he went inside himself, and it was more to him at the time about doing the move and doing the move properly than it was providing me with an experience, which does make the trick suffer. And it should always be about the performance and delivering a performance rather than just saying, oh, I done it with this move. So in that instance, there is a gaff playing card in existence that would have helped him do that trick without the sleight, and his performance probably would have been better with the gaff. But as I say, you shouldn't just use gaff playing cards, you should learn the sleight of hand first. The sleight of hand is much more rewarding to you as a performer. So one question to come out of this is, do I like gaff playing cards? Do I use gaff playing cards? And the answer is sort of split. I do like gaff playing cards and I do like gaff decks, but there's a very small number that I do like and I do appreciate. I don't like gaffs that are obvious gaffs. So what I said about at the start with the 10 of spades and all the spades being in the corner, I really don't like gaff playing cards like that. I think the tricks are cheap and there's not really much you can do with that. If I perform the trick where I take the 10 and I shake it and the spades end up in the corner, and I give that card out at the end of the trick to the spectator, they're gonna take that card off me and look at it and they're gonna be impressed, because it's unusual. Seeing a playing card with everything down in one corner is strange, it's different, it's not something you see every day. So they're gonna be impressed and they're gonna wonder how I got it into play. But at the end of the day, they're going to look at it and go, oh, that was cool. Do you want this back? You probably paid quite a lot of money for this. And that's when it becomes, it's like, everybody knows that's fake. Everybody knows that didn't happen. So I personally like gaffs that are out of sight entirely. So what do I mean? But what sort of gaffs am I talking about? So if we're talking about gaff decks, something like the invisible deck, I'm quite a big fan of the invisible deck. It is a real, it messes people up. There's no argument about it. It is super impossible, and it looks completely normal. Nobody is gonna expect the secret of an invisible deck. So it looks completely normal, and you can get away with that without people going, oh man, that must have been a trick deck, because it just literally looks like you've spread the cards, everything's faced up but one card. So that sort of gaff deck that hides is definitely something that I appreciate, something that I definitely use. Now I also love gaffs that literally sit in front of your spectator, of your participant, from the start all the way to the end. I personally get a real kick out of performing a deception for somebody with the deception sitting under their nose the entire time. So another type of gaff that I like to use is this from Daniel Madison. If you don't know what this is, then that's unlucky for you, because this is beautiful. I'm not going to explain what this is. This is not my lessons to teach. I don't know if you can still pick this up. You could get these in some of the Madison decks. And I think it came possibly as part of Madison Gamblers. But yeah, if you don't know what this is, unlucky for you, because this is beautiful. I love something just being in front of somebody the whole time, something that looks super normal and not out of place. Nobody would ever question it. It just looks like it should be there, but the whole time I'm using it to perform some routines that are incredible and completely impossible. So again, use of gaffs like this, I'm definitely all for. So to summarise things up, if you are a new magician, if you are just starting off in your path, in your career into magic and deception, would I recommend that you go and head straight for a gaff deck, for gaff playing cards? No. Please, if you take anything from this video, if you're just starting out, go away, learn the sleight of hand, learn the real moves first. It will benefit you so much more later on, and then once you're comfortable and you can execute difficult sleight of hand methods, then move to gaffs to just purely advance your routines in ways at times make things easier, which will allow you to deliver a better performance for your participant and push magic forward in a better way. So like I say, learn your sleight of hand, then head for the gaff decks, for the gaff playing cards. Don't just be one of these hobbyists that go out, buy a gaff deck and then run around the town showing everybody useless rubbish 10 of spades in the corner of the card tricks. It's not good. There is so much more I could say about gaff playing cards, but I don't want this video to become a 30-minute long video. So this might be something I'll come back to. I'll split it down maybe into like a couple of episodes. As for this episode, that's all I'm going to say. Please let me know down in the comments section below. Give me your opinion on gaff playing cards. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? What's your favourite gaff? Would you send somebody that's just coming into sleight of hand and deception straight to the Gaff deck, or would you be like me and push them more towards the sleight of hand? Who knows? Let me know. Let's get a discussion going on down in the comments section below. All I ask of you on the way down there, hit that like button if you enjoyed. It really does help me out, it really does. And make sure you're subscribed for more. There's a lot of content going to be coming out. There's a few changes that have happened that's going to allow me to push content out. I'll talk about this a little bit more in my previous video, which will be linked at the end. So yeah, make sure you've hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell so you are the first to know, and make sure you leave me a comment on your opinion about Gaff playing cards. I do read all of the comments and I will get back to every single comment. As for now, I will let you crack on with your day. I am TOMsavage. This was Gaff playing cards.